Welcome everyone to ION driver testing that we're here out today in this frictional Formula One track for today, and we're at for some sort of a Hall of Fame or nothing like shame it was, and we're probably not seeing about for not anything it was that we probably say if we're gonna be probably look into this old-fashioned ION logo on the front, which could be the NBC reference or slightly a pure vanilla cookie reference, like the leader of the ancient, like some sort of a cookie run kingdom as well. So we definitely nothing to look like this one, as we just absolutely having for some teleportations that we got here. There isn't other kinds of teleportations, some sort of GT racings and sports cars as well. As we're gonna be going into the Pebble Dark Cacao side, which means is World Endurance Racing Championships for the ION Endurance Racing is ridiculously closed as well. It's not eventually, nothing is coming up for just very early on, and besides, it was never be able to be open anymore as well for this during testing. It's no longer testing yet because it discontinued and abandons it. On the blue side, it was the Hydro series about the ION boats that you can drive from and not pirating itself as well. As we're just gonna be going back into some sort of like this right now, I have currently in a free camera right now. I just gonna be putting it out for just as well. And as you can see, that must be for some sort of UI features and not ourselves. And then before we're gonna be making for it straight that we're eventually starting about the lap times, we're gonna be putting ourselves for the cars of lineup, and probably I'm not sure that we're gonna be making things for very not sure as well. So it looks like we have for our names and probably for the developers or some sort of a memberships as well, and probably nothing whatever we try to make things a little bit creepy ourselves for just a little bit to do so, as we just never be able to slightly find out for some other kinds of usernames and what things is absolutely for username as well. They have taken down for some sort of a terminations as well, and probably the founders for the ION Formula Racing itself wasn't pretty that found for very much. So let's spawn all the cars. That the first thing that if I spawn a car like this, I have not mattered that we're just already spawned the car and not just driven this car for anything else left. So this is the Renault Clio, and probably this is the Touring Racing. The Clio RS is absolutely gonna be for the spawn as well. That I just cannot believe that I spawned two Clios for sure. And if the Clio despawns, that was gonna be the timer has just set off. So you have to hurry after you spawn, get in this vehicle fast, and you're probably gonna be doing for safe and sound as well. Until you jump out of the vehicle despawn timer has left off or went off as well. I'm probably going to start spawning for some kind of one vehicle ourselves. And what did I try to do so that we're going to be starting for some lap times without any kinds of to do this as well. We have already spawned a Renault Clio, and then I just eventually spawn another car, which is a GT2 car. I'm probably sure this is the KTM Crossbow GT2 car, or some sort of a GT3 car as well. And we got almost before that some sort of a lineup as well. So that must be some sort of a GT3 car. And then this is the GT1 car itself, the Ferrari 296 GT3. It's not for a 488 GTE. We didn't mention to spawn that car itself. And then I just particularly spawn another car, and waiting for 20 seconds to cool down. That turns into this car itself, and probably it's a GT3 car. I'm not sure that if I just spawn a GT2 car, I'm not pretty sure that isn't gonna be probably what is right. And the next one is the Formula 2 car, which is a turbo powered car that despawns in the last 60 seconds, that you can get in before it despawns in 60 seconds. And finally, we have a Formula 1 car 2019 or some sort of a 2020 Formula 1 car. Look like this. This is the Formula 1 car, and it was probably more dominant as well, and that quickly despawned fast in 10 seconds. As you can hop in of this Formula 1 car fast. So we're gonna be talking all of the cars, starting with Renault Clio RS, the KTM Crossbow GT2, the Ferrari GT3 for like these things, I guess, that I'm probably not sure. It was probably real, I guess. The Formula 2 car RSS Super Formula looked like probably this, and for the RSS Formula 1 Hybrid, the 2020 RSS Formula Hybrid. And probably we're very sure that the old cars, and we're going to be doing for some first lap time, as we're going to be trying to spawn the car, and let's just do it first. Now, let's just spawn for the Renault Clio RS. In the 25 seconds to be despawned, I have already spawned this car already. So, let's go into the 6th gear. And I'm not sure if we're gonna be pressing V, that completely... oh dear. I'm not gonna be very sure that we're starting the lap times as well. Lap times 1. And that I just eventually turning on for some sort of indicators as well. It wasn't such as the GT4 we're gonna be doing for the original lap times as well, but not that fast. It was kind of a little bit ridiculous as well. So how this car is going to be more faster, and it's gonna be for about 5 times faster than an actual Asian car for just stupidly right. So looks like we're gonna be trying to slow down as possibly, and because of this video was 20 minutes long over, so I can quickly going into the 3rd gear, and this is absolutely for the part of the beginner's lap times, and we don't really think this isn't going to be just like a good film, like we absolutely try to say. The ping has just completely froze every time. It's gonna be completely ruined to do this, as we're gonna be going into the official ION main game itself. This is gonna be for completely original for as the 2023 ION Racing. This is the Formula Racing is absolutely going to be for its world dominance. And because they have slightly liked it for just very much more time to do so. As we're gonna be trying to start for some lap times, I think we're ready to do it. And it's not gonna be making ways to do as well, as we're just gonna be making it so for all the way to start finish. But looks like 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Let's just try to beat for under 2 minutes like PNHW, and I'm not gonna be doing for just only one thing for just about 2 minutes for some sort of an 8 thing as well. So I absolutely tried to corner myself nearby the apex and the curbs. We possibly gonna be doing 6.8 seconds behind the rival. I guess we could do it for anything much better my turbo is started to get a little bit down as very much. So our second sector isn't going to be cheated anyways. Our first sector isn't going to be that much. And I despitely, this isn't going to be very good as one much. So it's not going to be, hopefully that doesn't going to be fixed for very sure. So instead of lap times for some Formula 1 lap trials as well, 0.68 seconds, oh dear, it was a great mistake. So, looks like, how can I beat under 2 minutes? Was really impossible. So, looks like I'm gonna be doing for our faster attacks as well. So, I'm not very sure that I'm going to be for such the most fastest lap on earth. So, instead of curbs, and I just completely did something a little bit wrong, for over 100 miles an hour, and then 8 seconds, 1 minute and 55 seconds, 0.474, and that should lead to head back into the pits. I got totally 3 laps, and we possibly that we're not going to be doing insanely about, and that wasn't able to be slowing me down as whatsoever. I'm gonna be jumping out of this GT4 car, and look at the face! It's probably not just unreal, but just I'm probably gonna be resetting the character as fast as I could. And the next one that I just gonna be eventually trying to spawn is what I just called the KTM crossbow. It's completely greened out as well, so it looks like for available transmissions could be sequential. But looks like I'm going to give ourselves a go. And let's just give ourselves to do for its... You can speed over the pit road. But looks like we're going to be doing for such an outlap as well. We're probably going to be beating the GT4 lap time as not instead of to do so as well. So, we got manual transmission, and we'll probably try to beat what is best to do so. It's not actually for some sort of a one thing. It was absolutely pretending for such a GT3 driver, and it wasn't gonna be making towards like it's somewhere else. So, you have to be careful while you're driving on this vehicle. And before I will combine into this 2 videos together, or some sort of like this thing as well. And I wasn't gonna be hard as planned. And I have slightly completely out of control. So you can hold C to look back. And we're probably not sure. If you're gonna be pressing V, you can press C if you just imagine that you eventually try to want. And you can always using primary controls as well, instead of going onboard view. And I just spit out of my hands. Let's just doing for just one complete attempt, and just be careful not to do anything wrong with the KTM crossbow. I'm just going to get a little bit close and start for some lap times for one reason. As we're reaching about for 6,000 RPM, and I slightly not sure this isn't gonna be a good idea as well. So, looks like this is absolutely just a same number for one reason. Brake, let go of the brake, and turn. So, this is absolutely for the best idea. Slow down, and it's going to be such as the most fastest lap times, and it's going to be taking for a little bit good. It's ridiculously hitting yourself, and if you just turn the gear up, it's probably 0.016 seconds, it's a little bit behind or something. So in this a large, a painful chicane, this is where the painful vehicles doesn't like this, and it's probably very painful as well. So the revving, the engine revs has just keep on frozen for too many times, because unfortunately my internet connection is very terrible for a lot more, and completely terrible for too much. And here goes the second sector, goes on the fastest, 1.7 seconds faster than it's absolutely for the GT4 cars as well. And I should be able to do for our very best, and the faster lap times is going to be make. And sounds like it's not going to be great to do so anytime as well. So I'm probably using the fourth gear, because I make sure that isn't going to be just like that really slow. And let's just gonna be over 130 miles per hour, 1 minute and 51 seconds. The time to beat is 1 minute and 50 because I eventually failed on the back stretch when I was on for the out lap, or such as the flying lap as well. And also, don't forget, you can actually redline of this vehicle from the GT3 or 2. I'm probably not sure. This isn't gonna be, let me know down in the comments. But I'm not gonna be really all ready to do so, that I just completely jump out of the vehicle. Oh dear, I will be resetting my character really fast, and I'm probably not sure. This is completely weird of my character, it is. So next one that I just literally spawn for the GT1 car, we possibly indeed. There is still no manual transmission we probably were going to be using about of this vehicle. So the vehicle sounds like a V10, and we probably know that it's going to be completely able to look like. So that I just completely beat of 1 minute and 51 seconds. So we're gonna be good to go, and we're absolutely trying to be careful around of this thing. V10 turbos are probably really awesome for me, and looks like I will be really sure. I totally driven about 7 laps, but looks like it's going to be blasting a little bit as well for over 10,000 RPM. So eventually it's 6,000 RPM, and I just hit that bowl for one thing. So since that car is going to be out of fuel left, and I'm not able to be spectating as well, so not the meanwhile this isn't gonna be making to do this as well, as we're gonna be turning back a little bit for just a very one trusted thing as well. We're blasting a little bit for just one, and I'm not sure this video was over 20 minutes of course. So I really don't think the video has gotten over 30 minutes long, just like in a previous times as well. It looks like I didn't believe this isn't gonna be making things for sure. I have making too wide of fast, as we're not making back into the pits as well. So it's not going to be such as a good idea, of course. And it looks like we're over 100 miles an hour. Can we driven over 150 miles an hour? 200 board. And looks like it's gonna be hurting the engine before, and I'm probably not sure. It's 1 minute and 51.142, and I just slightly overshot by not going for 200 board, because I slightly forgot that we're just doing this, I guess. No corner cuts as well, 0.547, I think the gap is absolutely going to be for making a large charge as well. And I cannot believe it was ridiculous. And it's not going to be feels insane. And it's going to do for just much time attack as well. So this is going to be such as a super lap for the GT3 cars. And it's going to be making itself for just one nice day. So let's just see in the second sector, 1.5. It was just 1 second to get things a little bit done, and it's overshooting for that corner by not going into the apex as well at all. We get back into the third gear, and I'm not sure that we're going back into the third gear as well. So we're losing amount of seconds, and should we be able to beat 1 minute and 50 seconds and hit before the sixth gear? 1 minute and 48.430. That was slightly more faster than the GT4, and that's because the GT2 cars were probably not insane like this. And look at my face, it's on top of my car. As we headed back into the pits, and I don't really think it's not going to be such as we're out of fuel for this time, and we're not very sure. It is time to get on for the limits as well. Let's just completely jump out of the car, and I'm not seriously okay for this time as well. Let's go for the Formula 2 car as we're jumping in for such as turbo mode as well. Oh god, it throws me off. So there we go for just one thing as well. So I'm about to try to charge up for this volume into 2. So it looks like it's gonna be a little bit loud as well. We're gonna be hearing the scream of the Formula 2 car as well, as we're hearing for the V6 engine that screamingly ruined itself. So let's go for the fourth gear, and it's absolutely going to be more faster than the GT cars itself, instead of the prototypes itself for one thing. And it's gonna be for a manual transmission. Looks like we got ourselves a manual transmission. I have switched it back to automatic, so I'm not going for the transmission to go on, and looks like it's gonna be ridiculously faster than the Formula 1 cars. We don't really think that Formula 2 cars was even more for the hilarious fast. This is going to be for very massively a dominance of lap times like Lewis Hamilton. So looks like we're inside of some sort of an onboard view. Instead of ERS, I'm probably inside of the onboard view of the Formula 2 car. So I would be able to directly to move over to the Formula 1 car, as we're not going to be expected to see this. So I have spin off, but looks like we're going to be doing this for another attempt. So instead of to do this, looks like we have handbrakes inside of this game, as we're going to be doing this again, but instead of overshooting the corners. And I'm probably not sure this is going to be the fastest lap whatever we try to do this, as we blasting over 250 miles per hour. 1 minute and 57 is absolutely for the worst out lap ever, because instead of the flying lap was absolutely a disaster. But looks like I'm going to give ourselves for a one big dominance, and it's going to be such as the very best lap whatever we try. 1.333, and we try to slow down as quickly as we can, as we're making around for this part in the 110. As you can see, the Formula 2 car is backfiring when I just started to brake itself or shift up all the way for some sort of another gear itself. So I'm not gonna be using the DRS. So if I unlock the DRS to hold F, 1.3 seconds is absolutely gonna be a little bit slower, but not for fame as well. This isn't gonna be making towards like this thing as well. And I might slightly going to be more faster than whatever tried to do so. As we're just gonna be trying to make our best. And it's going to be making things for very sure. All the way to 160 miles per hour is 1 minute and 33.497 or 495. I mean, it was 1 minute and 33.495 or 497. I think it was kind of the fastest lap than Formula 3 as well. So move on to another one. The car may cause power sliding, but I guess we're going to Formula 1 that I just completely dominate as well for doing 1000 subscribers event. And now let's get into our fame as the Formula 1. The pink Formula 1, I guess. I just completely reset the character, and I'm probably not sure that we're spawning the shining glitter pink Formula 1 car. I think the car has just despawned already. So I think we're in another pink as well. I don't really think that always gonna be probably choosing pink anyways. So looks like something is absolutely for racing points. So that Formula 1 car is at, oh god. So looks like I'm probably making sure that we're completely spawned the Formula 1 car is, I don't really know what it is. It's absolutely going to be taking for over 30 minutes about for this thing. So we're already spawned for this car, and looks like it's not even probably perfect as well. But as you can see of this for the RS 2020 Super Formula, like this thing, so we're gonna be turning the ERS on for a fully hybrid. So deploy the ERS is actually try to deploy as well. Oh dear, we're absolutely at for the speed limit as well. So it sounds like a V6 hybrid. Oh god, this is more ridiculously fast. I'm going to be using to deploy the ERS. If there must be the DRS zone, which is I'm probably not sure. This isn't going to be making just like that. So the dominance of this Formula 1 car was slightly going to be ridiculously fast. Or maybe let's just not going to be making like this thing as well, and it's not going to be really that bad. But looks like this Formula 1 car is probably the most dominant, and it's going to be ridiculously faster than the Formula 2 car. But I'm absolutely going to do for the FG. Oh dear, we have deployed the DRS and the ERS. Okay, we have to recharge. 2 seconds, I think it's almost 3 seconds time. So, looks like I'm probably not sure that we're going to be using, by pressing F is the DRS, by pressing G is to enable for the ERS. So, what about itself that we're going to be starting for the lap times? And looks like we're just completely doing for this really early. Oh dear, we have to turn off the DRS. That automatically brakes as well. 1 minute and 27 seconds. And by the time that we're not going to be using the ERS. So, oh dear, we just absolutely missed one thing. So, starting in a dirty lap over here, 1.5 seconds. I was trying to recharge the DRS, or I mean the ERS itself. Looks like I'm probably not doing this for a little bit of clean lap, so it wasn't going to be for its standard mix. I think we just did a bad lap or something. But once the ERS is fully charged, and it's going to be deployed like this, so by pressing G, and it's going to be audio. Oh no, I'm not going to be doing this for one time, but I'm probably not sure that I just accidentally pressing tap space over here. So I'm going to be doing for such as a U-turn over here, and before we're going to be end of this video, we're going to be ripping off for just as well. I'm not sure that we're going to be completing, I guess, because I just completely failed that is going to be doing for this one. But let me just tell you about something to do this. Not like over here for just I say, it's time to enable for the mouse control. So this is absolutely for the really first time, because I'll be careful about this thing, because I'm ready to do this, for it's taking only one advantage. Press F and the DRS is just completely turned on. Okay, recharge the ERS. Okay, let's deploy the ERS, and looks like I'm not going to be doing this for one time, because I'm starting to get a little bit maximum attacks of this thing. So I'm not using the DRS anymore, instead of going into this other kinds of line, because how smooth of I don't really know about that. I remember about this. I do not forget about the mouse control. Oh dear, it's absolutely not going to be interested about this. And we just eventually turn on to the ERS. So I have been pressing G. So open up the DRS, and I'm making sure the top speed is over 200 miles an hour. And we're probably not sure. We're deploying the ERS as much as possible. Oh dear, we have been too wide, of course, and it's not going to be making such a various mistake. And we just absolutely turned off the cliff. Oh god! Looks like we just completely failed. I think we're about to end up this video about this straight and disabled the mouse control as well. So that should be the end of today's video, but unfortunately I failed to complete the lap times anymore. Until next time, I won't be able to beat for such as the best lap time anymore like this thing, because it's hard to do when anything is not the part that we're just going to be doing alone. But I'm probably not sure that we're going to be using for a standard fuel mix, and I feel slightly terrible about the lap times as well. So that should be the end of this video for today about all cars and the lap times for over 30 minutes, and it was really frustrating about for only one thing, that during the lap times it was. So if you like for today's video, that make sure you check out the game in the description down below, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and click that bell for more racing content like these in my Formula 1 videos, or any kinds of motorsports in traveling along and going for loading goods as well. So thanks for watching, for all your support, and I'll be stepping out of the Formula 1 car instead of that phase. That is absolutely last 10 seconds of this thing. This is Turbo Concept is signing off, and I'll talk to you Formula 1 fans all later. And it's eventually despawned as well, so we're not going to be moving into somewhere else.